Thank you, Baruch Fishel. All right. All right, I will say good morning, a good chodesh. Let's begin. Today's daf is Ayin Aleph 71. We are picking up on Ayin Amud Beis 70b, and we are picking up in Meretz Hashem by Tanya. It is 2, 4, 6, 8 lines up from the bottom, 70b. Tanya, Amr Rabbi Yonasan. Namti lo Ben Azai. I had asked Ben Azai the following question. Lamadnu, we learned Nevelas Behema Tahura Shemetamim. Suppose that we learned that the nevela, the carcass of a Behema Tahura, of a kosher animal which dies without shechita, conveys tumah. Unevelas Behema Tmeya Shemetamas. We also know that the nevela, the carcass of a non-kosher animal, if it dies, also transmits tumah. Nevela Chaya Tmeya Shemetama. Right? From where do we know that the nevela of a chaya? Let's remember again, behema represents a domesticated animal, chaya represents a non-domesticated animal. So halacha l'maisa again, is that today? Yesterday, I think, right? Cool. Perfect. Thank you. Good, thank you. Good. So how do I know about the nevela chaya? So let's remember again, a behema is a domesticated animal. Chaya is a non-domesticated animal. So from where do I know that the nevela of a chaya, timeya, non-kosher chaya, from where do I know that conveys tumah? Or nevelas chaya tahora lo lamadnu. I'm sorry, nevelas chaya tahora lo lamadnu minayin. So I say, from where do I know these halachas? Namli, so he answered me, kol holich al kapov. So let's remember again, just so we keep track of what the conversation over here is, this is Rabbi Yonasan asked to Ben Azai. Ben Azai now responds, namely, he responded to me, Kol holich al kapav b'chol hachaya hacholeches. So we'll say, he quotes this pasuk, everything that walks on its paws, in every chaya that walks. Namtilo, I responded to him, v'chi ne'emar b'chol chaya, does it say b'chol chaya? V'alo lo ne'emar ela Bichol hachaya, lemahalche kapayim bechaya hu da'asa. So I will say, to which he responded. Remember again, that pasuk is used for the drasha we mentioned yesterday, namely that halacha l'maisa is actually referring to bichol hachaya, an uber inside of its mother. Namely, he responded back to me, Umay Yishmael Omer b'davar hazeh. So he asked me, Ben Azai asked me, he said, tell me, what does Rabbi Yishmael say about this topic? Namtila, I responded to him, V'chi yamos min behema. When the pasuk says if an animal will die, zu behema tmeya, this refers ultimately to a non-kosher animal that its nevela conveys tumah, asher hilachem la'achla, that is permitted to be consumed by you, zu behema Torah. That teaches me that the halachos of tumas nevela apply to a kosher animal. Lamadnu, what do we learn from this? We learn chaya bichlal behema or behema bichlal chaya. So what we learn from this is that behemos, right? A chaya is included in the category of behema, at least for nevela purposes, and a behema is included in the category of chaya, again, at least for nevela purposes. Chaya Torah b'chlal behema Torah, chaya tmei b'chlal behema tmeya. We learn from here that a kosher chaya is included in the category of a kosher behema, and a non-kosher chaya is included in the category of a non-kosher behema. Ayin Aleph Amud Aleph, behema tmeya b'chlal chaya tmeya. A behema tmeya is included in the category of a chaya tmeya. Behema Torah b'chlal chaya Torah. Ultimately, again, a behema Torah is included in the category of a chaya Torah. Ubalashon hazeh amarli, and Ben Azai responded to me and he said, Chaval al Ben Azai shelo shimesh es Rabbi Yishmael. So talking about himself, he said, woe to Ben Azai, referring to himself, woe to me that I didn't have the opportunity to go ahead and serve and learn under Rabbi Yishmael. In other words, once he heard the clear elucidation of Rabbi Yishmael, he lamented the fact that he did not have the opportunity to learn under Rabbi Yishmael. Beautiful. So we'll say now we're going to analyze this a little bit more. So we'll say, so remember again, from where do we learn this concept that a chaya is included in the category of a behema? Where do we know this from? Because the pasuk says, Zos ha-behema Zosa behema asher tochilu. This is the animal that you shall eat. Shor, that means talking about kosher animals. Shor sek savim. And then what does it say towards the end of the pasuk? Ayil utzvi vayachmar. So we'll say, interestingly enough, the pasuk begins by talking about this is the behema that you are permitted to eat, and then it includes things like an ayal and a tzvi, right? Like the deer. So we'll say, so remember again, the deer, right? This is a chaya. The deer is not a behema; it's a chaya. So hakis, as well say, if the pasuk is talking about a behema, then why does it include chayas? What do you learn from here? Chaya bichlal behema. Rabbi say what you learn from here is that halacha l'maisa a chaya is in fact included in the klal of a behema. Behema bichlal chaya minalan. So we'll say, so from where do we know that a behema is included in the category of a chaya? So the Gemara says, Dichsiv zos hachaya asher tochlu. This is the chaya, the non-domestic animal that you are permitted to eat. And we'll say, what does it say? Mikala behema asher al haaretz kol mafreses parsa. So we'll say, so again, the pasuk begins by saying this is the chaya, and then what does it say? What kind of chaya are you permitted to eat? From any kind of behema that has split hooves and chews its cud. So once again, what do you see? What just happened over here? The Torah began with a discussion about chaya, and then transitioned to behema. So what do you see from here? Ha-ketzad, behema bichlal chaya. So I'll say, what do you see from here? You see that behema ultimately again is included in the category of chaya. So the Gemara says, we'll say, so now that we've established that behema bichlal chaya, chaya bichlal behema, the next question which comes up is, for what purposes? What purpose does this serve? What does this matter? So here we go. So chaya tahora bichlal behema Torah. So also when we say that a kosher chaya is included in the category of a kosher behema, the ramification of that is for simanim. So we'll say, so the same way that ultimately a behema Torah requires split hooves and chewing its cud in order to make it a kosher behema, a kosher chaya will require the same exact simanim. Chaya tmeya bichlal behema tmeya. So we'll say, so when we say that a chaya tmeya, non-kosher chaya, is included in the same category as a non-kosher behema, so what does that, we'll say, what's the ramification of that inclusion? Laharba. We'll say that harba means crossbreeding, right? The same prohibitions of crossbreeding that ultimately, again, will apply to a behema tmeya, will ultimately, again, apply to a chaya tmeya as well. Behema tmeya and bichlal chaya tmeya. So we'll say, when we say that a behema tmeya is included in the same category as a chaya tmeya, so what does that have to do with? What's the ramification of that? L'chid Rebbe. We'll say this ultimately, again, is rooted in the sheet of Rebbe. What does Rebbe say? This Sanya, Rebbe Omer, Rebbe says, Ekra ani chaya, behema lama nemra. So I should say, Akra ani chaya. So we'll say, so the pasuk includes chaya. Why does the pasuk have to make mention ultimately of behema? Nemra kan behema tmeya, v'nemra lahalon behema tmeya. Rebbe say, it says over here behema tmeya, and it says later on behema tmeya as well. They both say now by the so ma lahalon tumas kodesh. So both say the two psukim that the Torah is quoting over here is on nefesh asher siga b'chol davar tamei, o benivlas chaya tmeya, o benivlas behema tmeya, o benivlas shares tamei, v'u tamei v'ashem. So both say pasuk number 1 is talking about if a person has contact with an item that is tamei, they become tamei. Pasuk number 2. It's talking about what? It's talking about a person who becomes tamei and eats of something kodesh, the liability he has, literally kares, right? If he does so intentionally, kares that's incurred as a result of that infraction. So watch this. So ne'emra kan behema tameya. It says over here, ultimately again, by consumption, or I should say not by consumption, by contact with a tamei item. It says behema tameya, and it says over there nemra lahalon behema tameya. We'll say talking about if you ingest something that is tamei and then go ahead and consume something sacrificial, that you will be chayiv kares ma lahalon tumas kodesh. We'll say just like over there by the second pasuk is talking about someone who is tamei, who eats something kodesh, so afkan tumas kodesh. So to over here in the first pasuk, it's referring to tumas kodesh as well. So the Gemara says behema tahora b'chlal chayit tahora. So we'll say, interestingly enough, when we say that a kosher animal, a kosher behema, is included in the category of, or is included in the klal of a chayit or a kosher to a kosher chaya, what is that coming to teach us? Liyitzira. So this is actually quite interesting. So Yitzira, Bosai, literally means formation of the vlad, formation of the offspring. So this is actually an incredible halacha. This nan, Bosai, here we go. We're going to see this later on in Seches Nida. We'll actually spend a significant amount of time on sugyas like this. Listen to this. This nan, hamapelas min behema, chayev auf, bein tehorin, bein temeyin, hamapelas min behema chayev auf. Bein Tamein, Bein Tahorin. So we'll say if a woman goes ahead and miscarries, and in this situation, what she miscarries, or both say, does not have the tsura, does not have the form of a human child, but instead has the form of a behema, a chaya, and an oaf. In other words, after she has the miscarriage, we examine the placenta, we find that the fetus does not look like a human fetus. Instead, it looks like a behema, chaya, or an oaf. What's the halacha? Bein tamein, bein tahorin, whether they are of a kosher species or a non-kosher species. Im zocher, teishev l'zocher. So we'll say, if the fetus has male characteristics, then I will say she observes the Yemei Tuma and Yemei Tara, ultimately again for a boy. Remember again, the Torah will say in Parashas Tazria, hands down two different halachos. If a woman gives birth to a girl or if a woman gives birth to a boy, there are two different sets of Yemei Tuma and Yemei Tara. So the Mishnah is saying as follows: if a woman miscarries, even if the fetus does not look human, but if you could tell if the fetus is a male or if the fetus is a female, ultimately, again, the woman will observe the Yemei Tuma and Yemei Tara after Leida for a boy or for a girl. Im Zachar Teishev l'Zachar, Im Nekeva Teishev l'Nekeva. Eino Yadua. We'll say what happens if the gender cannot be determined by looking at the fetus. Teishev l'Zachar u'l'Nekeva. We'll say she observes both periods as if she has given birth to a boy and to a girl. Rashi says, so first of all, say look at Rashi for just a moment. So Rashi says, Teishev l'Zachar, Shivas Yemei Tuma, right? And V'Teishev l'Nekeva, Shivu'ayim Temeim V'Samach Vav Torah. So also remember again, for a boy, ultimately again, it's 7 days of Tuma, 33 days of Yemei Toar. For a girl, it is 14 days of Tumah, 66 days of Yemei Toar. If she's not sure, right? Eino Yodua, Rashi says, Eino Yodua, Im Zachar Im Nekeva, Hetel Aleh Chomer Shnehem, V'Teishev l'Zachar u'l'Nekeva, Shvu'ayim Tumas Leidas Nekeva, V'afilu Eino Ra B'han Shema Nekeva Yalda, U'v'lo Re'eika Shvu'ayim Tumas Leida, V'Yemei Toar Ein La Ela Adarim. So again, if you're not sure what the gender of the fetus is, essentially what we do is we impose the chumrus of both a zachar and a nekeva on her. That's Divrei Rabbi Meir. We'll say this is the position of Rabbi Meir. The Chachamim say absolutely not. Kol she'eno mitzuras adam eno vlad. I will say the Chachamim have a different opinion. The Chachamim say the only time that a woman has to experience Yemei Tuma and Yemei Toar is if the fetus that she miscarried ultimately again has human form. But if it does not have human form, there is no obligation for her to observe anything in the aftermath, ultimately again, of that birth. Now I will say, now what you do in terms of hilchos, nida with things like that, hilchos, so we'll see that later on. The point that the Chacham are trying to make, Rabbi, say is that halacha l'maisa, the normative laws of childbirth are only triggered by a human fetus. If something does not look human, then ultimately, again, it's not given the normative halachos of childbirth. So I'll say, so the sugya ends off by transitioning back a little bit. Ul'Rabbanan haikra lamali. So we'll say, according to the Rabbanan, why do I need this pasuk? So we'll say, if you remember again, so now that halacha l'maisa, you have an animal that was pregnant, and the fetus and touches the fetus, so again is of a behema tameya, of a behema tahora. It's not going Again, the fetus will convey tumah. If it's a behema tahora, the fetus will not convey tumah. So we'll say now we're jumping back to the Rabbanon Haikra Lamali. According to the Rabbanon Rabosai, so what do they need? The pasuk of Rabbi Yossi Haglili. Remember again, Rabbi Yossi Haglili uses the pasuk to create a drasha to support his position, but the Rabbanon obviously don't agree with Rabbi Yossi Haglili. So what do they do with his pasuk?